So shall we start? I still don't see the entire strength today. Why is that so? No, your CBSE results aren't coming today. It is most probably tomorrow is what they say, not today. Okay, children, so we'll just start continuing with our classes and then we'll try to proceed. Okay. So yesterday we were trying to talk about cell cycle. Okay, so let me just see if you are able to remember some of those concepts that I taught yesterday. Just a second, I'm just setting my board. Okay, so the question is this. So now if I'm going to draw this thing, okay, so now fill in this blank. What would this blank be? This is G naught phase. Okay, so now fill me this blank. I'm still getting some wrong answers. I'm not getting Vijay Rubesh and Ashwin. Yes, good. Many of you have correctly answered. This is S phase. Okay. So now tell me, starting from here, let me take this as the radius. And then let us say that this is going to be the case. Okay. Yeah, I want you to fill a word here. What would that word be? This entire part. This would be interface. Very good. So now tell me, what would this be? G2. Good. Many of you are given correct answers. So this phase would be what? மெட்டாஃபேஸ்லாம் கிடையாது. மெட்டாஃபேஸ் தப்பு. Metaphase is a wrong thing, yaar. Don't use the word metaphase. It is not dividing phase also. We just call it as what? M phase. It can be either mitotic phase or meiotic phase. Okay, so now coming to this particular thing, only one thing is pending. This is G1. Very good. Yeah, you are like kind of understood the concepts. So this is what is the cell cycle. So yesterday we started with this chapter called as cell cycle. Okay. So we understood that cell cycle is a time period between a cell birth and then an intermediate time between a cell birth and then like what we call it as a subsequent division. Okay, so now what we are going to see is today we will be starting with what we call it as checkpoints. Okay, we have to study about G1 and G2 checkpoint. So here, when a cell is entering into this particular thing, we call this as a G1 checkpoint. What will the G1 checkpoint will do? A G1 checkpoint ensures that all the materials required for the synthesis of DNA are produced. Okay, so that is what is the role of G1 checkpoint. Whenever you are telling about G1 checkpoint, the G1 checkpoint will ensure that everything that is required for the production of DNA are produced. Okay, suppose if this particular checkpoint is like kind of like not satisfied, or like let us say that it has like kind of deciding that this particular proteins which are required are not at all produced, then what will happen is whatever is produced here, whatever has been done here, suppose if this checkpoint is going to say no to proceed to S phase, in that case what will happen, the cell will revert back to G naught. Okay, so the cell will be like kind of like getting back to G naught phase. So you can write one more point, additional point here. If the checkpoint is not crossed, the cell enters G naught phase. Okay, the G1 checkpoint is also called as a restriction checkpoint. Okay, so one more thing that you need to understand, all these checkpoints are dependent on proteins that we call it as cyclin, CDK, We call them as CDK. What is that thing? Cyclin dependent kinases. Okay, you just have to remember this name. Okay, this is almost like equivalent to your undergraduate syllabus. Okay, so just that I just want you to tell you what is this thing. So what are these things? You please understand that these checkpoints are nothing but what we call them as cyclin dependent kinases. So what is the cyclin dependent kinases? These cyclin dependent kinases are enzymes that will hasten the process and then it will try to push it into the next level. Okay. Or what they will try to do is they'll try to suppress it. It can do two things. One, it can either delay the G1 phase, or if it is decided no, it is not going to get into the thing, I mean like it is not going to proceed further, what will happen is it will try to take it back to the G0 phase. So what I'm trying to tell here is like these checkpoints are nothing but enzymes. These enzymes will try to determine whether you can proceed this G1 to S phase or not. Okay, so these kind of enzymes, which we call them as cyclin dependent kinases, okay, are the ones which are going to determine whether this particular cell can move to the next phase or not. Are we understanding? So these proteins will decide whether the cell is qualified to enter the next phase or not. So maybe you can add one more point. These CDKs determine if the cell cycle can proceed further. The G1 phase is delayed or the cell cycle is arrested by reverting to G0 if the DNA is damaged or if the production of enzymes is incomplete in G1. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to tell here is this G1 phase will be delayed or the cell cycle is arrested completely. How will it arrest? By reverting back to the G0. Okay, in what condition will it do? If the DNA is damaged, suppose if the cell is understanding that the DNA is damaged, in such a case, this will be like a problem. Or there is one more condition. The production of enzymes is incomplete in G1. So in these two conditions, what will happen? This cyclin dependent kinases will determine, okay, you should not proceed further. Rather, you should stay in G1 for some more time, either to produce the proteins or, okay, if the DNA is damaged, no, I don't want to go for a cell division now. And then they will say, go back. And then the cell will be arrested in the G0 phase. So this is what is the case. Are we able to understand? Okay. So someone is asking me what is the reason for the G1 phase for malfunctioning. Kanish is asking me a question. So what is the function? What is the reason for the G1 phase 2 malfunction? Basically, please understand that your protein production in your body is dependent on the nutrition, okay, the presence of certain enzymes, and lots of things. So, I mean, it can be any reason. Suppose if the person who's like, if I'm not eating sufficiently, certain kind of cell growth will not happen. Say, for example, whatever like I kind of like eat carbohydrate. If suppose I'm not taking sufficient protein in my body, my hair cells will not grow. Okay. In such a case, why should the cell divide there? Okay, so I need certain kind of nutrients. It can be insufficiency of nutrients, or it can be some external factor also. Presence of some kind of like foreign substances which is not allowing me to grow. So those kind of things can make problem in the cell cycle. So say for example, if there is a bacterial cell that I'm growing in a culture plate, along with the bacterial cell, I am trying to put an antibiotic. I'm trying to put an antibiotic and then I'm trying to grow that particular thing. So the antibiotic will have chemical factors which will affect the growth of the cell. So which means the cell cycle will not be properly going on. The second slide, yeah. Yeah, if the cells do not proceed with G1 phase forever, it is called as sterility or infertile. Okay, no, you cannot say that way. Um, Sometimes it can revert back also. So just a second. So if the cell cycle is not moving, it we cannot call it as sterile or infertile. Okay, you please need to understand that sometimes the cell cycle can revert back to original position. Okay, so some of these things are reversible thing only. Okay, this is the first case as far as your this thing is concerned. Which one is concerned? Your G1 checkpoint is concerned. So then you have something called as a G2 checkpoint. So G2 checkpoint, it follows the S phase. Okay, it is also governed by CDKs. The cell, if found, have a damaged DNA, will revert to the G naught phase. This is controlled by many types of CDKs. So children, what you need to understand is, like, we are talking about G2 checkpoint. The G2 checkpoint will happen here. So let me put it here. So the G2 checkpoint will happen here. If suppose the G2 checkpoint, what it will try to do is, like, the G2 checkpoint will happen here. This will try to check whether this particular DNA is produced correctly. Okay, because S phase has happened. If S phase has happened here, this will try to understand whether the synthesis is proper. The first thing that it will try to check is, it will try to check whether the synthesis is proper. The second thing that it will try to do is, like, it will try to check whether whatever is required to be produced in G2 is produced properly. Suppose if this either of these two things are not happening, what will happen? This will revert the cell again back to what state? G naught phase. So it will go for a quiescent stage where it will try to stay calm and it will not be ready for the case. So this G2 is also connected by what I am trying to tell here is, like, it is also governed by CDKs. What are CDKs? CDKs are the cyclin dependent kinases. Okay, and it is controlled by many types of CDKs. It is not just one checkpoint. So it is like kind of controlled by a series of proteins. There are many kind of proteins which will try to check simultaneously whether the cell is okay or not okay. Okay, all these things are there. So all these things are controlled by positive feedback mechanism. What is the meaning of positive feedback mechanism? Suppose let us say that there is a substance A should be there. Okay, if it is there, it will try to proceed. Okay, if suppose it is not available, don't proceed. This is what we call it as a positive feedback mechanism. A is like available, you go for it. A is not available, don't proceed. Only if this is going to be proceed, say for example, it is a sequence of things. Let us say that there is a CDK1 which is involved here to check whether A is produced or not. Okay, dependent on this CDK1 activity only, what will happen? The CDK2's activity will be there. The CDK2 will be like proceeding only if CDK1 is checked over. Suppose this A will determine whether CDK1 is there. So this CDK2 will be like kind of like becoming active only in some cases, only when CDK1 is like available. So this kind of mechanism is what we call it as positive feedback mechanism. So it is like kind of telling in as a sequence. So A is available, so this will be activated. So if this is available, this will be activated. If this is available, it will try to activate something. If suppose, like, say, let us say it is activating B, so then B is activating C. Like that, it will try to go as a sequence. like it will try to go as a multiple level of feedback mechanisms will be there. Okay, so all positive feedback mechanism which will try to proceed the cell cycle. So that is what is the G2 checkpoint. Are we guys able to understand? You guys aren't responding. Should I repeat? Okay, so these are the things. Okay, now there is a small problem here as far as this particular G2 checkpoint is concerned. You need to understand something here. So let us say that this is going to G0 and this is your G1, and let us say that this is S, and let us say that this is G2, and let us say this is M. Okay, so now if a cell is coming out of G1 checkpoint and it is reverted to this G0, there is no great problem as such. Okay, why it is not happening? Because let us say that there is a cell A which has gone to this particular checkpoint 1, G1 checkpoint. Okay, and this has not qualified for that particular thing, and this one has reverted to G0 phase. Again, when the condition is favorable, what it will try to do is it will try to proceed further and then it will divide into the cell division. So in such a case, there is no problem. Okay, but let us say that there is a cell B which is kind of stopped in the G2 checkpoint. Let us say that it is stopped in the G2 checkpoint. So if this is going to be not clearing this G2 checkpoint, what will happen is it will revert back to what? G0. While reverting back to G0 point, it is having a problem. What is the problem that is there? It will have synthesis phase has happened in between. So let us say that this organism B is having 10 chromosomes. So while it is going back, what will happen? It would have gone back to the G0 phase with 20 chromosomes. Again, if it is going to come to G1, and again the same cycle is going to happen, this 20 chromosome would become 40 chromosome after S phase. Again, after division, what will happen? It will have 20-20. So now what is it trying to do? It is trying to increase the chromosomal number. Okay, whenever there is a problem with respect to the G2 checkpoint, what will happen is it will induce a condition which we call it as polyploidy. What is this polyploidy? Polyploidy is having multiple sets of chromosomes. So whenever this G2 checkpoint, whenever there is a problem in the cell cycle, basically, let us say that the organism is starting with 10 chromosomes. After S phase, it will have 20 chromosomes. It is trying to proceed, but it is not cleared. So what is happening? It is trying to go back to its original position with 20 chromosomes. So again, if the if conditions are correct, and then like if it is reverting, again an S phase will happen, and what will happen is it will have 40. Okay, when this 40 is going for M phase, it will try to divide into 20 and 20. So now an organism which should have 10 chromosome is now having 20 chromosome. Okay, so basically this problem is kind of increasing the number of chromosomes in an organism. So Chandru is asking me a question, sir, what if this again there is a problem? So which means 40 will go back again. 40 will go back and again multiply, and then it will become 80. And 80 will divide into 40, 40. So basically how many times this is getting repeated, so many times what will happen is the condition will be like repeating. So this kind of having multiple sets of chromosome is called as polyploidy. So this polyploidy condition is induced whenever there is a problem with the G2 checkpoint. But polyploidy will not be induced in case if there is a problem with the G1 checkpoint. There is basically nothing. So you guys see this is like kind of I mean meiosis is going to be there in only a few cells. Okay, I mean like okay. So there are some questions. Wait a minute. So basically, this is leading to genetical disorders. Yes, exactly. That is what I'm trying to tell you. So whenever there is a problem in the checkpoints, G1 checkpoint is not going to be a big time problem because it is not going to increase the chromosomal number. But whenever there is a problem in the G2 checkpoint, this can cause an increase in the chromosomal number, which we call it as polyploidy condition. It is a genetical disorder which can be like there in any organism. This can happen. So that is when you have that. Okay, basically what we are trying to do is we are trying to use this particular mechanism, and then we are trying to produce crops and all in a bigger way. So you would have seen in Ooty flower show and all, like you would have seen like a very huge cabbage, very huge cauliflower. Okay, those are all called as polyploid vegetables. So you try to increase the chromosomal number and you try to get something better out of it. So basically that is like kind of like we are making it as an advantage. But if it is happening in an animal, it will be becoming a problem. So you imagine a condition where I mean like there are like two heads in a single child. Okay. A child with four hands, those kind of things and all is happening because of these issues. Okay, are we guys able to understand what I'm trying to tell? I have some questions here. No, Siamese twins and all are different basically. Siamese twins, please don't consider that is not a genetical disorder. That is a problem in the cleavage. That how children are like kind of like divided. Yes, naturally a genetical disordered child will be having a problem basically. So you have Down syndrome. Down syndrome is like kind of a disease which will affect. You have Klinefelter syndrome like that. You have like lots of genetic disorders are there. So they'll have some kind of problems which are not normal. Okay, so this is what it is. Okay, Shruti is asking me one question. So she's asking, if the population increases exponentially, how will the cell number be maintained? Why should the cell number be maintained? Okay, I think there is some problem in that question. CDK is the checkpoint. Okay, they are asking is CDK present in the checkpoint? Okay, this is not like kind of a checkpoint, is not a place exactly. Okay, I need you to understand what is this checkpoint. This checkpoint is not exactly a place exactly. Okay, so let us say that there are like 10 proteins which are to be produced. Let us say that A is there, B is there, C is there, D is there, E is there. Let us say these 5 proteins are to be produced for the cell to proceed to the next level. Okay, there is a protein which is called as CDK, which will be there. CDK1, which will be there. Okay, this will try to, this protein will be like this. Okay, let us say that this is A. This A will come and attach with the CDK1. If it is attached, this will be converted into some other process. Let us say like it is converted into CDK2. When CDK2 is there, it will try to trigger some action. Okay, which will move the cell to the next phase. Similarly, there can be something called as a CDK3, which will try to be like this B will react with the CDK3. When this will kind of create a change, the change will try to move in a particular way. Like this, all these 5 proteins which are required will be reacting with some CDKs, cyclin dependent kinases, and it will try to produce some change that will allow the cell to cell or signal the cell to move in a particular direction. Okay, so basically you need to understand that whenever pepsin is there, digestion happens, digestion of protein happens. Whenever pepsin is not there, digestion of protein does not happen. So similarly, whenever there are certain CDKs, a particular phase of cell cycle will happen. Whenever there are no CDKs, then there is like going to be something else which is going to be happening. So that is how your reaction happen in this particular thing. Whenever I'm trying to say that it is a checkpoint, please don't understand that it is like a kind of a place which should be like where the cell should go. Everything is happening inside the cell. Yeah, cell will produce these CDKs. Yeah, exactly. So the CDK is a kind of a protein. CDK is a protein which is produced inside the cell. The presence or absence will try to trigger some actions which will allow the cell to move in a particular way. Cell cycle will happen in every other organism. It is not just in plants or just in animals. It is not just in bacteria. It can happen in anything. Anywhere the cell is going to divide into two, the cell cycle happens. Any cell that you are talking about, the cell whenever it is going to divide, this is the phases that it has to cross so that it is dividing. In case of plants and all, polyploidy can happen. Disorders, normally cell cycle is something which is very perfect. Okay. So a normal cell will not have any problem to divide because your system of the way in which we are all created, it's like kind of like very perfect. But there can be some abnormalities. But there can be some kind of like problems which can lead to some sort of disturbances. Will this G2 checkpoint lead to variation? No, it will not lead to variation as such. If you're talking about the genetic variation that you're talking about, cell cycle will not lead to variation. It is mutation which leads to variation. If CDK is not present in that cell, then cell will not undergo cell division. Yes, it will not undergo cell division. Okay, the cyclin dependent kinases will try to do that particular thing in a very prompt way. Okay, so with this thing, cell cycle is over. We are now moving on to the next part of the lesson, which is cell division. Okay, so cell division is divided into two parts. Kanish, I'm not sure what you're talking about, Kanish. Okay, so you're all like, if you want to read all these things, you can go to higher studies, take biology, and then study. Whatever, even your textbook will not even talk about cyclin. So cell division is divided into two types. It can be either mitosis or meiosis. Okay, so let us try to talk about what is the basic difference between these two things. You need to understand what is mitosis and what is meiosis. I think I told about this in one of the doubt clarifying sessions, but still I would try to repeat it. So, children, listen here. Let us say that an organism is having 20 chromosomes. Okay. When this 20 chromosomes has to be divided into two cells, from one cell, two cells are to be divided. That is what we call it as cell division. Okay. So whenever there is called as a cell division happens. So before we move on to mitosis, meiosis, and all these things, we'll try to understand why a cell should divide. Okay. So a cell should divide for three reasons. The first reason is what we call it as growth. A cell should divide for growth. The second reason why a cell should divide for repair. The third reason why a cell should divide for reproduction. These are the three reasons why a cell division should happen. A cell should divide for growth. Say, for example, I was a small kid when I was born. I was barely like 4 kg. And then today, like my weight is like close to like 85, 86 kg, which means like close to 85, 86 kg means like I have grown from a case where I was just a 4 kg child to a point like I have like grown to like 85 kg, which means my mass has increased, which means the cells in my body have multiplied, which means my cellular structures have increased tremendously. Okay, so that is what we call it as growth. So whenever growth is happening, cells should divide. So I just started as one zygote. And after this one zygote, what has happened? Like multiple divisions happened and I became an organism. So cells will be continuously dividing in your body to promote what we call it as growth. So that is one reason why cells should divide. The second reason why cells should divide is because what we call it as repair. Whenever my body is requiring repair, in such a case, what will happen? The cells will again try to divide. When will a repair is required? Say, for example, I have fallen down. I have created a wound in my hand. Now tissue is damaged. What is the wound? A damage in a tissue is what we call it as wound. So some amount of tissue has been removed from my body and then that has created a scratch, and that scratch should be repaired. So what ultimately will happen is like it will try to uh, cells should divide and it should form a new cell there. So we all form scabs, and underneath the scabs, when the scab is like kind of removed, this will be like kind of there. What will happen? Like when the scab is removed, you will have your new cells will be appearing. So again, what is happening there is repair mechanism is happening. Okay, and then the third reason why cell should divide is it should divide for reproduction. So reproduction is one more reason why cells should divide. Okay, whenever an organism is going to give birth, then in that case, cell should be dividing. So these three are the reasons for what? Cell division. Okay, so these are the reasons for which cells should divide. So sometimes what will happen is this, out of these three reasons, you have some kind of methodology in which cells will divide. First, you write down this particular point, the reasons for cell division. Okay, so first you write the reasons for the cell division. Quickly write. Growth in organisms happens because of cell division. Okay, second one, the old cells are replaced by new cells by cell division. If there are any damages caused, it is repaired cells that arise by cell division. Okay, and the third one is when organisms reproduce, new cells are. Okay, so these are the reasons for cell division. Please note it down. Kanish, you have to be patient, Kanish. You are like kind of like too much into non-patient mode. I cannot do 10 things at the same time. Okay, so now please listen here, children. So what you need to understand is there is something that You need to know. So suppose in the first two cases that we are talking about here, so let us talk about growth. Let us talk about repair. In these two cases, there is a different requirement. So let us say that there are 20 chromosomes in an organism. If the cell wants to grow, in such a case, what will happen? It will divide. When the cell is growing, if it is dividing, it has to divide into two cells, which is having 20 chromosomes here, which is having 20 chromosomes here. These two things are like kind of two cells are formed from a single cell, where both the cells will be having what? The same content, genetic content. If you're going to talk about repair, then also what will happen whenever there is a 20 chromosome in the cell, parent cell, the daughter cells should also have what we call it as 20 chromosome. So there is a need for a cycle where the chromosomal number is maintained. Whatever be the number of parental chromosome, let us say that it is n, then what will happen is like it has to multiply into 2 and it should divide into n and n. This kind of cell division is called as mitosis. Whenever growth happens in a particular cell and whenever a particular number of chromosome number should be maintained same like the parent cell, then in that case the cell will be going through a particular cell cycle, cell division, which is called as mitosis. Okay, whatever be the number of chromosomes. So if the parent is having 2n, it will multiply into 2 and then it will divide into 2n and 2n. Even if it is having 3n, it will multiply into 2 and then it will divide into 3n and 3n. These divisions, whatever we are seeing here, is basically mitosis. What is mitosis? It is a cell division where the chromosomal number is maintained. Okay, so the parent should have whatever be the number. In human beings, the parent cell will have what? 23 pairs. This will multiply into 2 and it will divide into what? 23 pairs and 23 pairs. Then in that case, we call it as what? This is mitosis. So when will this happen? This will happen in any cell that is undergoing growth or repair. So say for example, in my body, my skin is growing. What kind of cell division will happen? Mitosis will happen. Okay, in my body, a repair mechanism is happening. I have fallen down and the wound is being replenished. Then in that case also what would happen? So what cell division would happen? It would be mitosis. Okay, and then you talk about some other case, like wherever kind of like my nails are growing, again mitosis. My muscles are growing, mitosis. My hair is growing, mitosis. Okay, my skin is kind of replaced. It's becoming dry and it is becoming replaced. Then also what kind of reaction, what kind of thing is happening? It is mitosis. So whenever growth happens and repair happens, the cell division that will happen is mitosis. What is mitosis? It is a cell division where the chromosomal number is maintained exactly. Okay, so with this thing, we'll stop today's class. Tomorrow we can continue. Tomorrow I'll try to give you a brief outline about meiosis, and then we'll try to study about mitosis completely first of all. And later we'll try to see some exceptions of mitosis or some alternate forms of mitosis. Yes, recovering from wound is also mitosis. That is what I am trying to tell. Alternate form of mitosis I will try to tell you. So first let us study mitosis, then we'll study what are the different types of mitosis we'll try to study. There is something called amitosis. There is something called as endomitosis. Okay, so you have like different types of mitosis. We'll try to study about it. First slide, second slide, third slide, fourth slide, fifth slide, sixth slide, seventh slide, and then eighth slide. Yes, it happens in somatic cells. I'll tell you about it tomorrow. Fifth one, sixth one, seventh one, first one. Thank you, children.